Okay, I think we are good to go. Hi, everyone, and a really warm welcome to our Ultimate Black Friday Cyber Monday to-do list webinar. That is a mouthful. We will give everyone a couple of minutes to get settled, and while we wait, please do introduce yourself in the chat. Tell us where you're dialing in from, what brand you represent. I will also introduce myself. I'm Fiona Stevens, Marketing Director at LoyaltyLion. An interesting fact about me, although I talk about Black Friday for probably 3/4 of the year, I have never, ever made a Black Friday purchase. Worst consumer ever. Maybe this is the year that changes. Let's wait and see how good those sales are. Luckily, there are lots of people who are not like me. So now we have a good number of people online. We're going to get stuck into our content and meet some of our speakers. Just before we do that, though, we do have a poll running at the moment. We'd love to find out what stage of the peak sales planning you are all in. So please head to polls on the menu on the right-hand side of your screen and let us know your answer. We'll see where everyone is up to in a moment. Before we look at those poll results, let's take a couple of minutes to meet our amazing speakers. So I'm going to ask each of you to introduce yourselves, the companies you work for, and then tell us the most niche or your favorite Black Friday purchase that you have ever made. Hopefully, again, you are not like me. So, Natalia, we will come to you first.
Oh, thanks, Fiona. Great to be here. I'm head of merchant strategy at Buyer Association Only, and we're a Shopify Plus agency for the world's most design-conscious brands. My favorite Black Friday purchase, I think probably like a hotel stay. So like, when they do like 3 nights for the price of 2. So more like a sort of experiential route of purchase.
I like that. I hadn't even thought about that. Maybe I will. Definitely. Fantastic. Thank you. Brian, you are up next.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian. I am head of partnerships for most of EMEA at Nosto. Nosto is a commerce experience platform, which is just a really generic term, I appreciate. But what we do is we really help create lovable commerce through highly intelligent personalization, amongst other things. And I've been racking my brains for the past 10 minutes thinking about this question. My favorite purchase, I have to say, I got a very, very good deal on a KitchenAid. The reason I like it so much, not so much that I've used it, but it has resulted in many cakes, brownies, and cookies being made for me by family members, which I've really appreciated. So looking forward to speaking to you all later.
I think you just won the smartest Black Friday purchase for sure with that one. Fantastic. Thank you, Brian. Jack, over to you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jack. I'm the marketing lead at Status. We convert the customer account into a personalization engine. My favorite BFCM purchase was actually one I made last year. I got a Coop pillow, COOP, and it has totally transformed my sleep, saved my neck. Just an absolutely brilliant pillow. Splurged a little bit on it, I won't lie, but yeah, has been a lifesaver for sleep.
So worthwhile. I can see people Googling this already.
There you go. Yeah, definitely. And I wish I had an affiliate link to share with you, but I don't. So.
Oh, brilliant. Liam, over to you.
Work for Attentive, so we're a world-leading SMS marketing platform, and we're doing a load of fantastic things at the moment with AI, so really worth checking us out there. I think the most interesting one, I think Jack had very same ideas, I think. So mine was an Emma mattress that I recently got, which, from last Black Friday, which, like Jack, has saved me completely. So, no more sore backs anymore.
Again, a very worthwhile purchase. Great. SJ, your turn.
Hi, everyone. I have just gotten a lot of shopping inspo right now. But SJ here from JustUno. I'm going to be speaking from the on-site perspective with my tips. And at JustUno, we're really focused on creating an on-site experience via pop-ups, which can be very customized or very templated to use in various formats to really target your visitor traffic strategically, whether it's paid traffic, someone coming from your emails or your SMS campaigns. We want to give someone a different experience, and that's where these pop-ups come into play. So very excited to hear from everyone. My favorite purchase was a Theragun, and it's just one of those massage guns, but it was like the pro one, and I had waited all year for it because they said, hey, this is the only sale that we do. So they had really strung me along all year. And it's awesome. It's like my body is something I like invest in, and things to like just try to feel like better with everything and like working out and staying active. So I was hooked from the moment I saw their campaigns.
And I think we just got a tip or a tactic right there. That's such, I quite like that. One day that's all you're going to get. It's interesting.
Yeah. If you just set it up from January 1st, like people like me will hang out.
We'll wait.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Great. And last but not least, Ryan.
Hey everyone, I'm Ryan, Associate Director of Retention Marketing at Roswell Studios. We're a full-service e-commerce agency. I'm actually calling in from Toronto, Canada. So, Black Friday, Cyber Monday isn't necessarily as big here in Canada. We actually have Boxing Day. And so, during this time period, it's right after Christmas, December 26th. So that's typically when Canadians would buy. Obviously, Black Friday, Cyber Monday is becoming more global. And of course, with e-commerce, anyone can shop anywhere. But, during this time period, a lot of tech stuff. So I bought an Oura Ring last year. Really, sort of liked enjoying, tracking my fitness and sleep and stuff. So yeah, I'd say that was my favorite.
Fantastic. I love that a lot of these are themed around well-being as well. I like that we're using Black Friday to all feel a bit better. It's fantastic. Well, thank you so much. It's lovely to meet you all and to have you here today. Before we get going, a final bit of housekeeping. We are recording this session, so don't worry if you want to revisit something later or you'd like to share with a colleague. We will also be writing this up into a blog post that we will share after the event too. Finally, we are unlikely to have time for questions, unfortunately, because we have too many top tips to share, but our experts will be in the chat throughout the session. So drop any questions you'd like to ask them into that chat box along the way. Let's see how that poll turned out. So interesting, we had 3 options. We had haven't started yet, in the middle of planning, and pretty much completed it. Nobody has completed it yet, which is probably very reassuring for all of us. It would be incredibly keen if you had. And we have about 50% on haven't started yet and 50% in the middle of planning. So great timing from this webinar. Hopefully you can all come away from this session feeling really confident in your plans and what tips you're going to put into them. With that in mind, we will not keep you waiting any longer. Let's get started with our Black Friday, Cyber Monday ultimate to-do list. Our first 2 to-do list items come from yours truly and the team at LoyaltyLion. So an essential thing that we believe should be on every brand's to-do list is to provide existing customers with early access to sales. And there are 2 reasons to take this approach. First of all, it encourages the customers that you've already paid to acquire to come back and to shop with you early on in the peak period. Makes it more likely that they'll choose you over the competition, or that actually they'll prioritize the purchase that they will make with you over any other things on their shopping list. Secondly, it makes them feel special and it makes them feel valued, something that they'll remember more than a discount once the sales season has passed. And you can see from the example on screen here, one of our favorite clients, fashion brand P&Co, deployed this tactic really well last year in 2023, but with a couple of enhancements as well. So not only did they give their loyalty program members early access to their sales, but they combined it with a double points promotion. So this is super smart. It means that those who make the most of the early access also earn additional points that move them closer to rewards that they'll return and use with their next purchase. They also created something called the Black Card. Any loyalty program member who made a purchase during the Black Friday, Cyber Monday period gained access to a Black Card, which entitled them to a 20% discount, but that discount could only be used post the peak period. So not only did customers get a great experience before and during Black Friday, but they were incentivized to return after as well. P&Co did a really good job of promoting these experiences across all their channels too. I mean, it's great to have a great sale, but if you're not talking about it, no one's going to hear about it. So from email and SMS to Instagram and all their other social channels, they used them so that non-members would see and be motivated to enroll into the loyalty program and not miss out. And this gave them a much larger member base that they could engage and communicate with once the sales were done too. So that is top tip number 1. Next, we're going to move on to a slightly more advanced to-do list item. And for this, I'd like to talk about more VIP experiences and our client AU Vodka. It's clues in the name. They are a food and beverage brand, but their Black Friday activity actually drove a 33% increase in their loyal customer base last year. So really, really hot results. Now, this tip is very much an extension on the theme of exclusive experiences that we just saw from P&Co. What AU Vodka did was create a really strong and on-brand Black Friday gold mine campaign. And it tied perfectly back to their brand and its values. But it wasn't just early access to sales. This was actually password protecting their whole store, so that only loyalty program members could shop at that point. They emailed all their existing customers the password so they didn't miss out. And then they promoted the concept far and wide to create this incredible sense of FOMO. You can see some of the creative here. It was really powerful. It was really strong, and it really worked. But I'm going to let Luke from AU Vodka tell you more in this very short video, which hopefully will play.
We utilised the loyalty program quite a lot over Black Friday as well. And this year we wanted to really try and drive sign-ups into a loyalty program, because Black Friday is always the best time to acquire new customers, but we wanted to go beyond acquiring new customers and actually getting people to engage with loyalty from the get-go. So we had this big gold mine event, and we locked down the whole site for 24 hours, and the only way you could get in was with a password. So we sent out the password to all of our pre-existing loyalty members. They had a lot of communications in the build-up, and then they all got sent the passwords, and it was one of our most successful days of the month. We went beyond that, and if you wanted to get the password and you weren't a loyalty member, we actually built out this section where you could create an account right from the homepage. Managed to increase our loyalty sign-ups, well, loyalty members in total by 33% over the month.
So there you have it, straight from the horse's mouth. Those are the top 2 things that LoyaltyLion believe you should try this Black Friday, Cyber Monday. If you're considering looking at a loyalty program, then you might benefit from our fast track package. Scan this QR code on the slide, hopefully coming around now.
We utilised
coming around momentarily. There we go. If you're interested in getting a loyalty program live before Black Friday, then have a scan of this and we'll see if you can get you live and launched before the sales start. Now I'm going to hand over to Liam for Attentive's top tips.
Thank you so much, Fiona. So yes, my name's Liam Jakes. I'm a senior client strategy manager here at Attentive, and I'm really excited to share with you 2 key tips all around SMS. And none of you will be surprised, SMS is an absolutely foundational part of your marketing strategy. But hopefully with these 2 tips that you get, you're going to be fine-tuned and all ready to go for Black Friday. So as I mentioned, building a strong foundation for your SMS program before Black Friday and Cyber Monday is imperative. As I mentioned, SMS is a key part of your marketing strategy, but why is that the case? Well, it's becoming more and more difficult to engage with your customers, and customer behavior as well has shifted to a more mobile focus, and your audience expects them to meet them where they are. So this is an opportunity for you to meet them right there. And your customers today have an empty inbox that sits on the left-hand side of your phone, and they're open to having one-on-one communications with you on a day-to-day basis. So for some background, Attentive is a leading text messaging marketing platform. We've got over 8,000 customers, and they all choose Attentive because of 3 main reasons. Number 1, performance. We perform better than anyone else. We're trusted and reliable, and we've got a team of over 400 client strategists to help you. So this channel presents a huge opportunity to build your relationship with your customers and then ultimately increase your bottom line, which I know we all want to do. But how do we get to that start line in the first place? Well, the first piece is to build your subscriber list. To accurately and effectively engage with your customers, this is the key element. You have to have the right foundations. You start with your audience, and that means starting before Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And it's a good idea to add more subscribers to your list. This lets you reach more people during the busy week and build a relationship with them before you start sending out those Black Friday, Cyber Monday messages. So if you're looking for ways to do that, here are a few ideas. You can have welcome pop-ups on your mobile and desktop home pages. You can show it in exit intent pop-ups with one final incentive, even launch retargeting ads as well. So those are all digital ones, but there's also non-digital ways to do that as well. And that's things like displaying QR codes, text to join keywords in dressing rooms, checkouts, receipts, even in your store, or even send out postcards in order packages to prompt to join, and so much more that we can do. And you can talk to any of your client strategy managers or even myself during this time if you want me to send you a list of those tips. We also collect zero-party data as well, And of building that foundation, we want to make sure that you're continually building and collecting data. The most successful programs that we see have leveraged personalization throughout the customer lifecycle to achieve the best engagement and revenue that we possibly can. So the earlier you learn that information about your subscribers, their interests, behaviors, and preferences, the more targeted you'll be all year round, not just when that comes to Black Friday in itself. So we all know behavioral data like browsing history, email, SMS engagement, and purchases, but also zero-party data on interests for segmentation and product recommendations are also really important as well. And there's a few easy ways to collect that information. So number one, surveys and polls by text to learn about subscribers through keyword responses. We also can have on-site quizzes and product recommendations while learning about customers' needs and interests, and then segment them in texts and emails later on down the line. And then finally, post-purchase surveys as well for your checkout page to ask about the context of what they're actually purchasing throughout that journey. And the final piece just on building a strong foundation is integrating AI into your strategy. And as we approach Black Friday and Cyber Monday, we want to familiarize yourself with the AI tools that can elevate your marketing strategy from where it is today. And AI is ultimately a tool to help assist and optimize those efforts, making them more effective and efficient throughout the process. So AI in particular has three key areas that we can enhance your strategy. So number one being enhancing traffic identification. Number two, looking at optimizing segmentation with Attentive's Audience AI tool for high intent shoppers and subscribers. And then finally, utilizing Send Time AI to make sure the messages are delivered at the optimal moment for each person that you're interacting with. And that will hopefully increase the likelihood of purchase there as well. So once you're doing that and you're expanding subscriber lists, collecting relevant data and integrating AI, you've got a great foundation. So what's the next step? So tip number two, please. Tip number two is all about creating a cohesive Black Friday, Cyber Monday messaging strategy. So the holiday season, we're all aware, has become longer and longer and longer over the last few years. Consumers are expanding their shopping throughout Q4 and not just Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So in the US alone, 25% of adults started shopping as early as October and 42% finished after December 16th. So it's important to engage those shoppers throughout the entire season itself. So in terms of messaging strategy itself, you want to have an idea of what kind of messages you want to send, the segments you'll send to, and then you'll need to assess the need for those campaigns ahead of time of Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And that might seem really, really obvious now, but if with careful planning now ahead of time, you'll be able to execute more impactful SMS and email strategy that drives engagement and ultimately revenue for you as well. So I've separated this out into three key buckets: before Cyber Week, during Cyber Week, and after Cyber Week. So before Cyber Week, we want to build excitement, convert early shoppers. We're looking to tease promotions at this time. We've got gift ideas that we're going to send out on specific products and interests to help shoppers build their wish lists out. And we also have early access for things like VIP, rewarding customers with exclusive discount for early access to sales, even leveraging higher conversion rates and IRI during that time. Then we have during Cyber Week. So we'll highlight the best deals that are possible. This is all about personalization and promotions. We've got all that data we've collected previously, and we're going to use AI as well to tailor those messages. And then we have frequent reminders to keep momentum going during that time, because we know shoppers, and I know myself, you can get easily distracted by the amount of messaging out there. So stay on top of and front of mind during that time. And the final bit on this piece as well is just updating inventory status. So making sure that low stock, back in stock items are actioned, and you're informing your subscribers of the items that they want. And finally, it's come to sort of the end here as well. We have after Cyber Week, and this is all about nurturing, retaining those customers and subscribers you've worked so hard to get in the first place. So many sign up for those deals, keep the conversation going to build those lasting relationships. And since many are still shopping for holiday gifts in December itself, consider sending messages about sale extensions, holiday delivery, cut-offs, gift card deals, even product recommendations. And then as well, importantly, have a loyalty program invitations here as well to encourage subscribers to join your loyalty program and then foster that long-term engagement. So with all those tips together, before, during, and after, you're setting yourself up for success and a cohesive messaging strategy. So if you have any questions or strategies discussed today, or you'd like to take a look at our other Black Friday, Cyber Monday content, you can scan the code on the next slide, I think. There we go. Fantastic. And our team and myself is happy to help if you have any questions or queries at all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Liam. I promise we didn't pay him to mention loyalty at all. That was organic. And no, I love the way you break that out into before, during, and after. I think all Black Friday planning needs to be looked at in that way and through that lens. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Liam and the team at Attentive. We are coming next to Ryan from Roswell. Great alliteration there.
Hey, everyone. So my first tip is to promote loyalty signups before Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So as we know, having a successful loyalty program can be really beneficial, but in order for one to be actually successful, it needs to have a sizable participation rate. And with the increased traffic over BFCM, it's really important to get users into the program beforehand. And we recommend employing a series of loyalty program sign-up opportunities in the months leading up. So we recommend brands run VIP program only sales leading up to BFCM. And, as Fiona shared earlier, even an early access to the BFCM sale for VIPs, as it'll really put a premium on being a part of that program. Leading up to the sales you run, you should target non-members in email, SMS campaigns, and ads, either hinting or, really explicitly stating that they're going to be missing out on great deals if they're not a part of the program. You can also promote it on site in a hero banner or text banner to encourage those sort of on the fence, or maybe just like are seeing the brand for the first time and want to sign up. Now, sales might not be feasible or even a part of sort of a brand strategy. May feel like you're more of a premium brand. And so another strategy could include offering a sign-up bonus with double the rewards, or launching a limited time product exclusive to loyalty members. And one example of the limited time product or exclusive product, comes from our brand Fright Rags. They built a VIP experience where only tier 2 or higher members get access to a page called the Graveyard. They're sort of like a spooky Halloween type brand, which were basically past designs that were either sold out or most popular. And so, it's really an incentive for their customers that really drives signups alone. And so, doing things like this throughout the year, as well as obviously leading up to BFCM, can be very, beneficial. So I'll move on to my second recommendation, and that is really for businesses to beat the post-holiday slump by leveraging their loyalty programs. So, obviously, as everyone knows, it's going to be a high traffic period for both, like sales and total engagement on site. But inevitably, for a lot of brands, it's a much slower Q1. And in order to combat this, we really want to make most of that loyalty activity that's been built up throughout Q4. So if we've done a good job in my first recommendation, a good portion of your customers will have a sizable points balance from their purchases. They might have reached a new tier. Potentially they've told friends about it. Maybe they've referred a friend. And what's really great between Attentive and LoyaltyLion is they've got a good integration that passes over properties such as like points balance and VIP tier. And what we recommend is creating segments that contain users with enough points for reward, targeting them with either like automated email and SMS journeys, or you could even do one-off campaigns. And then on top of that, really layering in paid ads platforms like Meta to display ads to customers that they've got enough points for a reward for their next purchase. Lastly, one other easy way to drum up excitement through loyalty during Q1 is to promote double points campaigns, or even make rewards half the cost. Again, it's not necessarily a sale, but it's something to really drum up that excitement. Obviously, customers get to shop their favorite products and get some points for it, and the businesses are gaining that much needed traffic during a slow period. So as you can see, loyalty can play a big part of a slower period for business. We just want to make sure that we have it set up for success beforehand. And if you have any questions, I'll drop my email in the chat afterwards. But certainly, super excited to hear from the rest of us in terms of recommendations here.
Amazing. Thank you, Ryan. I have to say, I've been looking at Fright Rags a fair bit recently, and I think their program is just incredible. It's so on brand. It's such a unique and quirky brand, and their program is just awesome. So I put a link in the chat. Do go and have a look, as it's a great example. Thank you so much, Ryan. Next up, we have SJ from JustUno.
Hello, everyone. Great tips so far. I did move my mic. I just want to confirm you can hear me okay?
Yep, all good.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, I'll start from the on-site perspective as a reminder. And the whole goal with my first tip, in it being essential, is just how much a solid journey contributes to success in all of your other efforts and channels. So really similar to what we've heard already, like kind of building that foundation, we're setting up a journey that converts. And when I say convert, I know that we all want to convert, but with this on-site experience and pop-ups and just our mindset at JustUno, it's all about prioritizing that conversion and what we can do in that same session to convert. That's like us reaching for the stars, really aiming for the best possible scenario. And then we know that you have all of those other channels like email, SMS, social channels that you're on to really support whatever that experience is on site. And then it just kind of all feeds each other. So that is what this 3-step approach is to this whole on-site journey that we would advise to set up for the holiday season. And this can start whenever you want to start. And it's all about tweaking it to fit your sale and then updating this 3-step approach after the holidays. So you can really have this 3-step approach that I'll get into all year round, but I'm going to speak a little bit more to just like, let's talk about Cyber Week, Black Friday, like those days. So in this, we're looking at including dynamic banners on your website, a sale welcome offer of some sort, and then exit and cart abandonment messaging, which has already been mentioned and is a very popular use case or workflow that you'll implement in your other channels. So we're taking this to the website and using that real-time data that we have and that we feed into your other channels. And so with this 3-step approach, like the banner side, we typically have people using JustUno for banners because they're just not getting that flexibility out of their native platform to really deliver something in a banner that is targeting that VIPer appropriately, targeting that paid consumer that has never purchased in the right way, right? Maybe they're going to see just different variations of that Black Friday, Cyber Monday offer. And as a brand, it's kind of up to you to figure out that prioritization of what should someone see, when should they see it. And we do like to approach dynamic banners based off of source data. And, during the holiday season, we're all about really making things simple. So if you are right now targeting and really looking at all of the data based off of the sources that you have and kind of knowing, okay, who has a higher bounce rate? What are the AOVs like? Then that can help influence maybe where you do need to be a little bit more personalized in showing dynamic banners on your website. We can also think about dynamic banners a little differently outside of source, but you can show more than one message on there, which may seem like something that is easy to execute, but it does get a little customized if you are trying to work in your e-commerce platform and setting up a banner like that. So we do look to JustUno banners, which is something that can sit at the top of your screen or at the bottom of your screen. And you're able to change that message, whether it be just multiple sale messages like in a carousel going through, or we've seen really great success with an engagement rate whenever we're adding in things like a short review, whether it be about the site experience, how easy shipping was. So like from the get-go, you're really building up that credibility. And I can't remember who said it, but someone was saying like, you're already thinking about loyalty at the very beginning. And that's what these banners are doing when you consider them dynamic and try to incorporate things like UGC, any kind of social proof is really cool. Any kind of like star ratings or badges that you might have are really clutch here too. So then I'll get into the sale welcome, which is a big part. Typically that welcome to a website is just a lead capture right now, before the holidays. When it gets to the sale welcome and when I'm like thinking about prioritizing the conversion, we do tend to advise to turn off that lead capture as that first step touch point when someone arrives on the website. Ideally, at the end of the day, you'll get that email when someone is converting or post-purchase. And that's where you can also build up where you're asking for the SMS or any additional information, like if they are like their social handles, to understand if maybe they're in that influencer category that you can approach. So with the sale welcome, it's all about making your sale super clear, giving them the offer up front and not making it like, okay, my lead capture is 10%, but the site-wide is 30%. That's something that is just naturally going to cause a little bit of friction, a little bit of confusion, and that's what ripples into everything else that you're doing. So with our sale welcome and our banners, you do want to have your main sale highlighted there and really make it simple. And then the last point, which is like the most important if you take anything away from this first tip, is implementing an exit or cart abandoner message. And this is going to be triggered exactly based off of on-site behavior. It's going to happen before any email or SMS goes out. So it's kind of a two-parter. You're either going to get that conversion then and there, or this is really going to supplement your other channels and what they're giving or promoting, which ideally is still in line with your offer. I really love what Attentive was mentioning just about being able to like double points, adding in more about loyalty. Like that's where you can let your channels kind of do that work and let the pop-ups do the easy work of, okay, this is their real-time behavior. What's appropriate to show them now, which can be anything from reiterating the message they have and sweetening the deal, or just reiterating the message and using different creative. Kind of as you would use different hooks, different ad variations. That's how you can consider these cart abandoners. I did have a good, an idea that came to mind. And it was more like talking on the copy side of things. So having a cart abandoner that's saying your timing is perfect. You've actually unlocked the VIP offer and you're not doing anything on your side. You're letting that visitor tell you like, okay, you know, I'm in my next phase of shopping now. And that's when you're able to open up that offer to them. It's strategic and you're just not giving it away to everybody. So that's what this whole flow is really prioritizing, is that cart abandonment life cycle. And if you are going to focus on one part of this journey, focusing on that, because this is the #1 revenue driving segment that you have on your website that has shown you so much intent, because this is all based off of them adding something to cart. And you can segment this down if you have time, like if they've added, you know, less than 100 or more than 100, what does that offer look like to them? But we have in this whole flow, in this life cycle, we want to trigger a cart abandonment pop-up on that first session when someone leaves. And then whenever they return, based off of all your awesome texts and emails that you're sending out, we're sending them a pop-up or showing them a pop-up that can do various things. Maybe it's hitting them more on the social proof and showing what they have left in their cart. So it's really trying to build up that next point of just getting them to the next click to get to checkout. So we'll take it to my next screen now, please. Get into some easy wins with banners. I just wanted to hit on this because this is also like a low lift part that you can focus on, just making your site a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more personalized with just one implementation. And we have things like adding XYZ to your cart to receive a special gift, promoting your different ways to pay and just getting to a certain spend amount. With this holiday season, you know, maybe that we're stretching our paychecks a little further, really highlighting that. We've seen throughout the year really prove to lead to higher engagement rates when we're at this point of trying to get to that conversion. I love that one with all the food hanging around. That was a, what were they selling? They were selling like hot dog buns and burger buns in Italy, a very custom recipe. So we were really trying to highlight UGC here and giving them something to click through to. That was also on their blog. So building credibility through that too. And the goal is like, we want to keep people on site, right? With that paid traffic that you're getting, you are paying for that. The goal is to not increase bounce rate. We at least want to get them to engage with your brand a little bit more. And typically we're not seeing a lead capture really do that as a first touch point when someone lands on the website. So that's where these banners can really come into play. And then of course we have this new subscriptions offer call out. This one's a classic for any loyalty, and it's really just a click through to open up a pop-up, or if you have your own loyalty page, you're leading to that and letting that one do the work. I'll take it to my next one, please. Cool. So I'll wrap it up with tip number 2. This is more on that advanced side, which I'm so happy we've already heard more about, like segment building and zero and first party data, because that's what this one is all about. So we really want to consider segment building off of quiz data. And this is advanced because ideally you're doing this now. I wouldn't advise having like, you know, a whole quiz on your website be the priority during Black Friday, Cyber Monday. You want to prioritize that offer or whatever it is that's like differentiating you in that market. So this is like, we have micro quizzes here, which I'm just calling micro quizzes as like adding 1 or 2 questions into your lead capture. But if you already have their lead capture, you can go ahead and ask this, and you don't even have to have a lead capture associated with it. We're associating that with that visitor and them visiting your website either on desktop or on mobile. And this is where you're using that data, whether it's like these examples, they have a dog maybe, or they're focusing on acne. That's their problem issue. That's all leading into this second screenshot that I have of like building out that experience with this segment. So you have this segment that is on the acne side. After they've submitted what their preference is, they're getting then into this if-then kind of branches, which is taking them through different experiences, whether it's the product that we recommend immediately in the pop-up, or maybe it's the free gift that we're giving after they've added something to cart. So it's all about being really relevant. And this is how we're doing it based off of 1 or 2 pieces of real-time data that we can track right now. And then during the holidays, maybe you're turning something like that off and then turning it back on immediately. But if you're starting this now, you can still use that to influence like general segments that you may want to customize for during that super big week or whenever it is that you're beginning your sales. I'll take it to my next one. Nice. Yes, that's my wrap up here. So my tips for you is all about adding in those 3 steps to creating some sort of journey on the website that's based off of real-time behavior, and then using 1 or 2 data points that you have and that you're capturing right now to set up some segments that you can personalize and really get some tracking on so that you can have not come at them in a good way post-holiday with some awesome loyalty engagement content. And I do have a free website conversion audit here for you. If you want to scan that, that's what gets you our team to look at your different sources, to look at how traffic and how your user experience is, and really giving you actionable items where you can implement a pop-up to fix XYZ or to influence X KPI. So if you have any questions, feel free to connect. I'll also throw in my link here in the chat if you just want to chat after or continue the conversation. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ashley. Lots to think about there. And I love an audit. I wish I could have a go. Okay, Natalia, by association only, over to you next.
Thanks, Fiona. Oh, so many strong recommendations already, like tough acts to follow. Hopefully these next 2 will also provide some like tangible inspiration for people. So my first tip is about showcasing members only exclusive products. So essentially, as we know, around the Black Friday time, many merchants will inevitably experience like, an increase in traffic. And it's just such a great time to try and appeal to new customers, not only from like a revenue perspective, but also to try and think about things like driving account creation. And if you have a loyalty program, trying to increase signups, essentially keeping that first party data theme that we've sort of already heard about, and being able to do that to unlock opportunities in the future, whether it be for marketing or personalization. So this tip is essentially about thinking about whether you have a product or products to launch around the Black Friday, Cyber Monday period, but adding the element of exclusivity. So rather than the product launch being available to everyone or having like a flat discount across it, trying to create some excitement, maybe some FOMO, with having those products like locked and only available to account holders or loyalty members if you have a program. And I think this sort of tactic, I think Ryan was touching on this earlier, for like luxury brands or premium brands who they might want to participate within the Black Friday period, but not be comfortable with going down the discounting route. This could be like a good option for those brands, and maybe also a way to do something a bit different to help cut through some of the noise. So I think the example I put here is from Nudie Jeans, which I think is great inspiration. It's something that they do year round, but again, could be quite beneficial around the peak period. Throughout the user journey, they call out specific products, so whether it's on the PLP or the PDP, as being member exclusives. And I think it really like stands out in terms of when you're, browsing the site, and could be really intriguing to a user, and obviously hopefully translates into signups. We've also got a client at BAA who takes a slightly different approach with having like a members only outlet. That's more of a sort of approach where you have like, sort of either password protected page, or in their case, they have a separate section on their site, which is just for Shopify account holders. And something like that for them, it really like helps to foster loyalty and like brand affinity. And also as a plus, like has translated into a really strong add to cart rate, significantly above what they see on any other PLP. So I think trying to be a bit more creative, especially if you don't want to just do a flat discount, and think about whether you can just create that excitement with like an exclusive product for that period of time that you have to take an action to access. It feels like extra special. The next tip, if you're able to, yeah, amazing. So the first one was really more like about sort of acquisition and thinking about like how to attract new people. And I think it's quite easy to sort of get caught up in the excitement and the frenzy of Black Friday, but I think it's really important to think about the customers you already have. And this tip is like, I called it like create personalized offers for loyalty members. So basically thinking about the loyal members that you have already and trying to make them feel valued at this time. And I think a really great way of doing that is with like personalized experiences. So again, similarly, along to what you were saying about earlier, Fiona, about like giving customers a VIP experience at this time and not just thinking about all the newbies you want to like entice. One of our clients, Opoly, who works with you guys, their program is really key to their overall e-commerce strategy. They're like redeeming loyalty members spend, I think, 3 times as much or something as a non-member. So understandably are a focus throughout the year, especially at peak time. So this tactic is all about personalizing the offers for these loyalty members and doing it by looking at, things like their shopping behavior, purchase browsing history, and basically making like your existing tech stack work as hard as possible to give you that data that you can unlock. Opoly also work with Status, who I think you're about to hear from next. So I won't sort of spoil anything too much, but for those who aren't familiar with the tool, basically when you create an account with Opoly, you become a loyalty member. So it's a really seamless experience. You remain logged in and you have this account hub with all your relevant information. And at the moment, we're actually exploring tactics around like unique collection links and how to translate the preferences that they already provide within the Status Hub to inform the recommendations. So again, it feels super personalized, which could be really effective around that period of time. So you don't just feel like it's like a blanket discount, but there's something sort of a unique offering to you because you're part of that loyalty scheme. So I think essentially these tips are really about thinking about how to attract new customers, but also not forgetting the ones that you have already worked very hard to acquire, and trying to think a little bit outside the box in terms of how to do that. I feel like I sped through that, but if anyone has any questions, like please drop them here in the chat or reach out to me on LinkedIn, and happy to help.
Fantastic. Thank you, Natalie. Well, again, another of my favorite programs. I think Opoly are doing everything right on that site. It's beautiful. Yeah, lovely. And as rightly told,
that's a good segue, isn't it? Like
we are, yes, on to Jack at Status.
Well, that was a perfect transition. Natalia, you might be putting me out of a job here. I think you pitched Status a bit better than I think I ever have. So that was lovely. Thank you. For everyone who's in the room, thanks for joining us today. I'm the marketing lead at Status. We convert the customer account into a personalization platform, and we're working with some of the most customer-obsessed brands on Shopify Plus. So we'll jump right into it. We can get the next slide here. What we see is about 95% of first-time customers check out as guests. So this might sound familiar, and the reason why this is a problem is first-time customers, new customers, are very, very expensive to acquire. They're also on their first purchase more often than not profitable. They're not engaging with rewards, right? They're not enrolled in loyalty, and they're difficult to retain. So how can you, through Black Friday, Cyber Monday, ensure that you're driving more customers into accounts? We'll tee up the next slide here. But really what we're looking to do is increase this first-time customer sign-in rate. And the easiest, most powerful way you can do this is by leveraging transactional emails, specifically adding status magic links to your transactional emails to drive clicks in transactional emails and convert those clicks into customers with accounts. And so what we see on average, because transactional emails are sent to the most amount of shoppers, they have more often than not the highest open rates, highest click-through rates. We see that we increase first-time customer sign-in rates by 2.5 times on average. So we're automatically creating these accounts for first-time customers, which means we're saving their clicks, their carts, their favorites, and their preferences all to the account. They're also, as you've heard previously, automatically enrolled in loyalty if you have a loyalty program, and in credit and returns and tracking, so on and so forth. Now, we talk a lot about first-time customers. If you're curious to hear or see how your existing experience compares to the benchmarks, or if you're not sure how to track your first-time customer sign-in rates, you can find that by downloading our benchmark report, and I'll send it here in chat in just a second. But feel free to scan that QR code and get a pulse on your current sign-in rates. You can go ahead and click to the next tactic. And so in Q4, we're going to be thinking a lot about, right, is capturing these first-time customers so that in Q1, and this is the important piece, we're going to personalize every touch point on site. So in Q4, we're going to increase our first-time customer sign-in rates so that in Q1, we can personalize every touch point on site, which ultimately will drive up repurchase rates. So here's what we see, right? And the tactic here that I'm sharing with Carbon 38, they take all of my recently viewed products, my clicks, my carts, and my preferences out of the account and add them as blocks on site to the homepage, to the collection pages, and to PDPs. And the reason why this is so valuable is when first-time customers come back to make another purchase or to browse again, they're immediately able to pick up where they left off, right? It's all of their previously viewed items, all the items they ever added to cart, and their preferences. It's an immediately personalized experience. And so this increases cart sizes. We also see that this almost doubles repurchase rates in the 90 days following Black Friday, Cyber Monday. If you want to take this to the next level, Musashi is another one of our brands, one of our clients we work with. They are capturing zero-party data in the form of status preferences. And when preferences are updated in status, they're saved as meta fields to Shopify. They then dynamically update content on site. So they're a supplements brand. If my favorite sport, for instance, is soccer, they will show me, or I should be saying football with some of the audience we have here today. We say it's soccer, they'll show me soccer-related content, football-related content. If I change that and I decide maybe it's MMA, they will update and show me MMA content on site. So again, just to recap here quickly, most important thing you can do in Q4 is capture more signed-in shoppers by leveraging those transactional emails, specifically magic links within those emails to create accounts, so that in Q1, you can personalize every touch point on site. And we jump to the next slide. I just want to share with you a special offer we have today. You can scan this QR code to try status free for 60 days. We don't do contracts. We're month to month, which we hear is rather popular. We will get you live in as little as 60 minutes. You get dedicated onboarding manager. So very, very seamless process to go live. No development required. You'll see results in as little as 7 days. So my name's Jack. Obviously, Status Accounts. If you'd like to talk a little bit more about status, your existing account experience, I'd be happy to. But thank you again for your attention. I'm going to hand it over to friends at Nosto.
Our very patient friends at Nosto. Brian, over to you.
I somewhat feel really selfish because I get to sit and listen to everyone else's tip and just at the end just say what everyone else just said. But football is right, Jack, by the way, as well. But just to really make the point, as I mentioned earlier, Nosto is a commerce experience platform, really specializing in personalized shopping experiences. That has been touched on already by Jack, by SJ, by almost everyone on this call, which is great actually as well. But for us, the mission that Nosto goes by is making every impression relevant. And so what we really strive to do, and one of the first tips that we're just going to suggest, and it's already been mentioned, which again is really easy for me to talk about now, is really nailing that segmentation strategy that you have. And what we say about that is around this time of year, we generally see, and a lot of brands should maybe expect, that influx of new traffic to their site, with people that are perhaps unfamiliar with their brand, shopping for other people for gifts or things like this. Or then you also have that big cohort of people that are returning customers, shopping both for themselves and for other people. So well ahead of this Black Friday, Cyber Monday period, setting up these segments and starting to really understand these segments is crucial to success in that period. So as I've highlighted here, it might be really identifying what segments there are. It might be your new versus your returning customers. As has already been touched on, the different sources that people are coming from, especially that paid channels or SMS as mentioned from the people in Attentive, what way are they coming and interacting to your brand? And then are they on mobile or desktop? Really starting to highlight some key areas of the different segments that do exist. But then to take it even further, and I think it was touched on already by a number of people, really starting to understand their behavior. What are people coming to the site to shop for? What products are they buying? What pages are they landing on, and what pages are they bouncing from? Really trying to build a picture about the kind of behavior we're seeing, the different average order values, really starting to understand people's behavior. By doing all of these things and really having these segments starting to go not just from where they're at in their life cycle, but based on their behavior, it really starts to present some great opportunities for you to create and mold some customized or personalized experiences for these different segments. So what that might be is it might be how you treat your new visitors versus your returning visitors. It might be that the content you serve them is a bit more geared towards educating them about the brand and enticing them into the brand, whereas your loyal customers or your returning visitors, it might be more about the loyalty program. It might be more about what they can do to earn more points. I'm really glad that Natalia mentioned Opoly, because that was one on our list as well. And it's someone that we work with, and they do this phenomenally well, not just with their loyal customers and their loyalty program, but how they're creating personalized experiences, and whether that's the product recommendations that they're serving or the content that's being served as well. They're a really good example of it. But what you should see then, by creating these personalized experiences, you're really optimizing the chance to drive a higher average order value, increase that customer lifetime value, but starting beforehand, really starting to break down and cater to those different segments will result in better conversion rates, increased uplift in revenue as well. And it kind of leads on quite nicely to the second tip that I'll cover. And that is really, in this period, is running daily deals. What that will do is that will create, as it says here, a sense of excitement and urgency, but really adding value to the customers and for the ones that are visiting your store. So urging them to sign up, come back to your store over and over again during this period will really help not only drive value for them, but help you with product discovery when it comes to the things that are on your site, and is starting to really start driving repeat visitors, increase that loyalty for people coming. And when you're getting those people here and getting those people coming back for these daily deals that you're running, what you can really start to do to maximize the conversion of that, as I've kind of touched on, is using those personalized product recommendations on those deals. So it might be that you serve them certain recommendations or certain products or certain deals based on their behavior. It might be that you serve them a deal that's based on the fact that they like a certain color of item, or it might be a certain brand, or it might be the size that they're looking for. All these deals, the better personalized and catered they are to those individuals, the more likely they are to convert. But it will increase that engagement and excitement for them coming back over and over again. And one of the things that I've listed on here that becomes really impactful is not all the people that visit your site or all the people that are customers you will have a great ton of data on. It's why it's so crucial with these daily deals to have a fallback recommendation. So if you don't have enough data to make that one-to-one personalized recommendation or deal for them, this fallback might be your best sellers. It might be the most frequently bought in the last 24 hours or 7 days. You can really start to capture those people as well by still serving them deals and recommendations for them. So this daily deal really does help create that sense of urgency. And just that last point on the daily deal, it can be a really valuable tool at helping you move surplus stock or high inventory items where you're surfacing those, really helping slow moving stock to get those numbers down, but also bringing those discounts or those deals to the top of the search results or the products that you're mentioning to them as well. But overall, there's a number of different things you can do. Most of them have been mentioned already, but for me, those two tips we've seen work really well for a bunch of our customers and the ones that we're engaging with more so. I'm happy to answer any questions, have further conversations off the back of this as well. But those are my two tips. Hopefully they will resonate as well as everything else. But thanks for listening, everyone.
I think they were well worth the wait, Brian. My mind is racing. I'm just thinking how you could do maybe free product rewards to match the daily deals and things like that. There's too much to think about. Okay, that is all of our experts and a pretty comprehensive list of things to try out and test this Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and the whole peak period. Thank you so much to everybody for some super interesting case studies and suggestions. I would like to say a huge thank you to all of our speakers. I'm sure they would all be happy to connect on LinkedIn if you have follow-up questions or if you want to hear more about any of the offers they mentioned as well. I'd also like to thank all of you in our audience for joining us today. You've been super engaged and super awesome, and we love you for it. As I mentioned earlier, we'll be sending around the recording alongside a blog write-up in the next few days, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Continuing on the theme of to-do lists, I'd also like to take this opportunity to just quickly introduce our latest piece of content. We are really excited about this one. It is the ultimate guide to retention for Shopify stores. It is well worth a read if you're looking for ideas on how to get the customers you acquire over Black Friday coming back for a second purchase. packed full of tips and benchmarks and checklists, all of my favorite things. So scan the QR code here or head to our resources area on LoyaltyLion.com to find the guide. I'm afraid I don't want to say goodbye, but all that's left is for us to wish you lots of luck with your peak period of planning and, of course, the execution before, during, and after. Hopefully, we will see you online again soon. We'd love to connect. If you'd like to let us know how your planning is going and how we can help, then please reach out to any or all of us along the way. Thank you so much, everybody, and good luck.